Hey, Pretty Girl Club, welcome to another Exotical Storytime. This girl says, Hey, Exoticals United, I just wanted to share a few experiences with you as a mid-light skinned exotical having an unambiguous dark skinned mother. So, by saying mid-light skin, I'm assuming she means light skin but not white passing, so like my skin tone. So growing up, I never paid much attention to my skin tone, mainly because it wasn't an issue or a big deal to me. I was more concerned over my weight than anything else because that's what's most focused on when they first met me. It was either my weight or my hazel eyes that people identified me by and commented on the most. But since I've only ever received mostly positive comments on my eyes and mostly negative comments about my weight was my biggest issue. People rarely made any reference to my skin tone unless they were calling me yellow bone or light skin, but it happened so rarely it never stuck long enough for me to care. To the point I didn't realize my tone was light skin because I wasn't as light as others. For reference, I'm about the complexion of Queen Latifah with eyes like Willow Smith. Growing up, I had the body type of Raven Simone in her That's So Raven era, and back then in the early 2000s, that was considered fat. So I now realize I wasn't fat at all, but that's how I was treated by my peers and by mostly my mother. Over the years, I noticed some of the weird colorist comments my mother would use to say to me growing up that I didn't think much of in the moment, but now as an adult, I view them as weird and disturbing. First of all, my mom is a darker skinned woman about the complexion of Kelly Rowland, and she is the darkest of her siblings, while her siblings are both light skinned. She's told me many times how as a child she was bullied badly for her dark skin. I empathize with her because I know it affected her severely to the point she told me she used to put bleach in her bath water to lighten her skin. She even admitted to me that she wanted a light-skinned child, and she got her wish with me. Yes, I've noticed that a lot of people have this mindset of, if I can't be them, at least I can create them. I have a theory that most people want to date us or create us. Most people want to either date an MLS person, so a mixed race person or a light-skinned person, or they want to create us by mating with someone who has a multiracial background or someone who's lighter than them, so their baby can come out a little bit lighter. I've noticed that some people also have an obsession with darker skinned exoticals and they want to have Blasian babies or they want their babies to have a dark skin tone with quote unquote good hair or with quote unquote Indian hair. So yeah, a lot of people, they want to birth you, but then as soon as you get old enough to get male attention or female attention if it's a guy, then they start getting triggered. Anyway, let's continue. I came out with my dad's light skin with hazel eyes. Though I was pretty as a baby and a toddler, as I grew older, I no longer was the little doll she could dress up because I began to rapidly gain weight for my age. I always seemed to be 15 to 20 pounds more than the average kid my age. I felt like she hated me growing up because I wasn't as pretty as she expected me to be because I had a bit of a weight problem. I had the light skin, the long hair, the light eyes, but my body messed up her whole vision of the perfect, pretty little girl, and she hated me for it. People saw how mean she was to me, but no one stopped in to stop it. Meanwhile, I was absolutely miserable, believing I was ugly and dumb because she told me and made me feel like I was. In my teens, she would yell at me and be quick to call me a lazy, fat-ass bitch. But now, when I talk about those years later and say how ugly I was, she now tells me I wasn't ugly at all and that I was always pretty. Yeah, so when you said you feel like you didn't meet her vision of you and all of that, I feel like maybe you didn't meet her vision of you as a baby, like you actually were still a threat. I think that she most likely always viewed you as beautiful and always was threatened by you regardless of your weight. Because I've noticed this thing where people, it's not about your weight. It's actually about your phenotype. So people know that losing weight is something that's, you can easily solve that. Losing weight is easier than changing your entire hair texture, changing your entire skin tone, changing your entire eye color. So oftentimes people will just nitpick small things that you can easily change, and they will just latch on to that because that's their only way they can humble you. So notice how the other girls, when they posted their stories on here, they were talking about how people would call out if they have a mustache or people would call out if they're wearing a weave. Those are all things that you can easily change. And a lot of people, if they can't find any other flaws with your appearance and they feel deep down inside like you look better than them, they'll try to call out the most random things. But anyway, let's continue. She says, She acts confused as to why I refer to my former teen self so negatively. She was the reason. She was always my main bully. Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes when parents feel threatened by their children's potential, they will try to break your spirit when you're still in the house. Like they want to hurry up and break your spirit down so that when you get out into the real world, you are never more successful than them. Because I've noticed a lot of people, they want you to succeed. They want you to be happy. They just don't want you to be happier than them. They just don't want you to be more successful than them. And so if they have any power over you, I've seen the same dynamic happen at jobs as well. If they have any power over you socially or economically, they will try to use that to break you down, to humble you, to make sure that once you leave their sight, you will never surpass them. But let's continue. She says, I refused to introduce her to my friends or even guys I am interested in because in the past, she would always tell them some humiliating, offensive story about me just to embarrass me, leaving everyone in the room silent, looking awkward. Yes, this is another typical humbling tactic. If a person feels like you are socially superior to them, they will try to humiliate you, especially in the eyes of men. This is kind of similar to the story that I told on here about how when we went to this fitness event with my friends, there were guys there, black men in particular. And then one girl, she tried to call out like, "Oh, Exoticals United, why are you wearing makeup? Like, how do you have time to put on makeup? Oh, I can't put on that much makeup. How do you put on makeup without your skin burning and breaking out?" So she was trying to humiliate me because there were men around, and she was trying to send a subliminal message. Hey, don't put her on a pedestal. Don't give her pretty privilege. She's not as pretty as you think she is. She's wearing a ton of makeup right now. Trying to make it like I'm this fake person or like I am putting on a fake persona. But let's continue. She even ruined my chances of dating this one guy I liked by making him believe I was slow, which he then soon stopped talking to me. My mother was never married and hasn't been in a relationship since at least 2001. So when I started getting interested in guys, she was fast to stop me from potentially finding a romantic mate too. Growing up, I never understood why she was so damn mean to me. Anyway, she still, to this day, comments on my hazel eyes almost obsessively, saying, "Girl, if I had your eyes, I'd be a damn fool." Exactly. And this actually is a phrase that people use when they are exposing themselves. Deep down inside, they wish they were you. I mean, she just admitted it right there. Deep down inside, she wishes that she had your eyes. And I've noticed that this actually happens a lot. A lot of girls on this channel have said that people have made comments like, "Oh, if I had your hair, I would do XYZ style. If I had your body, I would dress like this. If I had your skin tone, I would be like that. If I had your booty, I would do this, I would do that." And so it's people living vicariously through you, people kind of imagining themselves as you, and then they don't realize that they actually end up projecting that onto you, and then they expose their jealousy when later on they're mean to you. So you know how sometimes when you are going on a walk or something and you kind of think of your best version of yourself, you kind of fantasize in your mind and think to yourself like, what would I look like at my best? What would my hair look like? What would my body look like? There are some people who are unambiguous, who think, what would I look like as my best self? And they think of a different phenotype. They think of a different skin tone or maybe a different eye color or a different, facial features. And I actually don't even shame that on my channel because I understand like everybody has different tastes and everyone has different standards of beauty or different things that they think are beautiful. So the only problem though is if your internalized standard of beauty is different than how you were born, it could make you insecure when you come across people who do have that standard of beauty. So my advice for the people who are insecure, like for your mom, if she was that obsessed with hazel eyes, she should have just got that surgery to get the hazel eyes and just moved on. I mean, in my opinion, that's actually a better option than abusing people who have hazel eyes, antagonizing people because of their eyes, being jealous of everyone that has their eyes. I mean, it's either that, either get a surgery and change yourself to attain that privilege or to attain that look, or she needs to admit to herself she will never have your eyes. She will never have the beauty of your eyes or the privileges, quote unquote, that could come with your eyes. She will never have those same eyes. So she just has to accept where she is at in life and who she actually is. So there is no wrong answer in my opinion. I'm not one of those people that says, everybody just needs to accept who they are naturally. Because no, who you are naturally, some people don't like who they are naturally. Like if you naturally have acne and you want to change it and you want to change your skin to where it does not have acne, then that's actually fair. I don't believe in policing people's bodies. But sometimes if a woman is insecure and she is too scared, or maybe she doesn't have the money or something to have your phenotype, or maybe she's too scared to go purchase a freaking $20 pair of colored contacts from the beauty supply. She's too scared to do that, so she can at least see, like, what would I look like with hazel eyes, or so she can play around with creativity. I've seen some women do that. I don't care if they do that, but some women, they don't even have the confidence to do that. So instead of doing that, deep down inside, they will just keep wishing that they had these eyes. And then they will start antagonizing anybody whose eyes are slightly lighter than theirs. And, it starts kind of seeping through and chipping away at their self-esteem. So my theory is that there are multiple different ways to solve low self-esteem. And the solution is not always just accept exactly how you were born. No. For some people, the only solution is they have to change themselves. So if they're obsessing over others who have a certain phenotype, my theory is, okay, deep down inside, you actually wish you looked like that. You wish that you wish you were born that way, or you wish you had the money or the confidence to purchase those features. But since you don't want anyone else to have confidence in those features, and you want to shame others for having those features. But let's continue. She's also said to me multiple times too, if we were still living in slavery times, I'd be a house hen and she'd be a field slave. Insert eye roll. Oh yeah, I got told this too when I went to an HBCU. People would be like, oh, shut up. You would be in the house. You would be in the master's bed getting raped every night, as if getting raped every night is supposed to be a joke or it's something to make fun of. But let's continue. She says, house slaves weren't treated any better. They were still being abused and raped too. So her comment was absolutely stupid. When I went natural back in 2009, I was so excited learning about my true texture of hair, trying out new hairstyles, and happily wearing my 3C 4A curls. I loved my hair so much until she one day was gently pulling at the curls in my scalp and just cruelly said with a very stank, mean attitude, totally unprovoked, your hair ain't that good. My hair is way better than yours. Yep. So once again, your mother, unfortunately, is constantly exposing her jealousy, constantly exposing her inferiority complex to your phenotype. First, she was jealous of your eyes, then she's jealous of your hair, then she's calling out your skin tone. She even admitted she wanted quote-unquote light-skinned babies. So yeah, this is a classic example of regretful, unambiguous parents of MLS children. And if you're watching this, I'm sorry if I'm triggering you at all. This isn't supposed to be throwing shade towards your mom or anything like that. But yeah, this is actually a very common experience that a lot of us have, maybe not with our mothers. Maybe you don't have an unambiguous mother, but for some of us, we have unambiguous cousins or family members. Like I remember, same thing happened to me with the hair thing. They didn't say your hair isn't that good, but I used to be accused of being tender-headed. Or, sometimes my unambiguous cousins and stuff, when they were doing my hair, they would purposely pull my hair back to like get my attention or, just to joke around and be funny. But I didn't see those same cousins doing that with the girls with the short 4C hair. They didn't pull their hair just to get their attention or just to be funny. So yeah, I've noticed that some people, they have an obsession with our hair. And especially the whole your hair ain't that good thing. I've noticed that no matter what your hair texture is, people will try to call it nappy because they want you to experience what it's like to feel texturism. So no matter what your hair texture is, like my hair is actually very loose. And even I have had hair that's been called, like my hair has been called nappy before. People have accused my hair of being nappy. Some of the girls on here have said that they have literally type 1 hair or type 2 hair. And that others will still try to say, oh, well, your hair's poofy. Oh, well, your hair's frizzy. Your hair's this. Your hair's that. It looks like a bush. It looks like a tree. So it's the same thing. They want you to have the same inferiority complex about your hair and your skin tone and your eye color as they have about theirs. Let's continue. She says, I was so confused by her comment and tone of voice because I hadn't said anything to make her say that. Unfortunately, the comment hurt me so much, the joy and pride I had for my hair diminished, and I ended up returning back to relaxers soon after her making that comment. She doesn't like me referring to my hair as good, but I choose to think and refer to my hair as good anyway because doing so makes me feel good about myself and happy. Exactly. This is why on this channel I promote you taking ownership over your own identity. You get to take ownership over your own beauty. You get to call yourself by whatever positive nicknames you see fit. So yes, if you want to say your hair is good, if you want to say that your hair is beautiful, if you want to say that your skin is beautiful, your eyes are beautiful, then you have the right to do that. It's your body, it's your self-esteem. But let's continue. She says, It's like anytime I try to love or enjoy something about myself that she doesn't agree with, she does everything in her power to break me down from it. Whether it's me acknowledging my hair and my love for it, or a new outfit, or something I've purchased myself with my own money, she will find something negative to say about it majority of the time. It's like she cannot take me being happy unless I match up to the image of what she wants me to be. And what she wants you to be is insecure. She wants you to have an inferiority complex. She wants you to not feel more confident than how she feels. She wants you to feel like you're not a threat to her. She wants you to feel like she is prettier than you and like she is higher up on a social hierarchy than you, when obviously, according to her, that's not true. This is exactly why I say that for some women, accepting who they are is actually not the solution, because there are some things that people can change about themselves that actually will make them feel better about themselves. Like for me, if I were 500 pounds, I would not feel good about myself. So yes, I would feel an inferiority complex against those who are skinnier. So the solution is not to, oh, just accept yourself how you are, just accept that about yourself. No. How about I lose some weight? How about I get liposuction or get whatever surgery I need to get, or use my resources to change myself and to change my appearance, or I change my diet, or I pay more money to purchase healthier foods, and then I won't have such an inferiority complex about the skinny girls because I would have the same skinny body. So I actually do believe that some unambiguous monoracial black women and men need to just admit to themselves, I wish my phenotype was XYZ. And then they get to decide, okay, do I want to change my phenotype to XYZ, or do I just want to accept that I'll never have that phenotype and just live with it? So this is why the skin bleaching community is such a big thing, because some unambiguous Africans have said, and they've actually admitted to themselves, hey, I don't like how my skin looks, or, I don't like looking unambiguous. I think that a cocoa skin tone looks better than my jet black skin tone, or I think caramel or whatever skin tone looks better, so I am going to change it. This is why I am not really big on shaming people who do plastic surgery and bleaching, or any of those things, relaxing their hair. It could be any of those things, because I understand why some people do those things. Maybe they really do feel like, hey, my hair is a 4C and it would be easier to manage if it was a type 3, or you know what? I think 3C hair looks prettier than 4C. That's my beauty standard, or that is my internalized most leveled up version of myself. I always viewed the 3C hair texture as the prettiest one. And so instead of me hating on women with 3C hair, I'm just going to relax my hair or put on a wig or whatever so that I can at least appear to have 3C hair, and that'll make me feel better about myself. I actually don't have a problem with that, because that's called paying your exotical tax. That's called being honest and admitting, hey, no, exoticals are gorgeous and I want to look like that. So I'm actually not offended by that at all. And that's fine. That's your business if you want to change your body. But what I do have a problem with is when people want to look like you, but then they don't want you to like how you look. But let's continue. She says, I've come to the conclusion a few years ago that my mother is an insecure, jealous, bitter narcissist, so I keep my distance from her as much as possible. I have heard much worse mother-daughter stories than my own regarding colorism, hair textures, but I thought that I would still share mine anyway. I enjoy watching your channel, and it's definitely helping me in many ways. Thank you for creating a channel for us Exoticals that have felt and been abused, unheard, gaslit, attacked, and ignored. Thank you. Yeah, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.